In this video, we're going to talk about what absolute value is and how you can determine the absolute value of a number or an expression. Okay, the very first thing that you should know about absolute value is the distance, okay? It's the distance from 0 to the number on the number line. So I'm just going to draw a quick number line for you. Now in our first problem, I have these funny bars and a 5 inside. These bars are the absolute value symbol. And this question is actually asking for the absolute value of 5. So what is it? It is essentially saying is I want to know the distance between 0 and 5 on the number line. How many units between 0 and 5? All you have to do is count them. And if I count them, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The distance between 0 and 5 is 5. So the absolute value of 5 is 5. The second example says, what's the absolute value of negative 5? What's the distance between 0 and negative 5 on the number line? Again, you just count how many units it is. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 units from 0 to negative 5 on the number line. So the absolute value of negative 5 is 5. Now if you notice, both answers are positive. The reason that will always happen is because distance cannot be negative. So your absolute value of what's inside the absolute value bars will always become a positive number. Now the next example I have is the negative absolute value of 5. This negative is not inside the absolute value bars, therefore it doesn't make it positive. These can get a little tricky. My suggestion to you is you almost do the order of operations. Think of the absolute value as parentheses. So I can't do the negative yet, so you just put it on the outside and write a set of parentheses. What is the absolute value of 5? The absolute value of 5 is 5. So now you have a negative symbol and 5. So that answer is just negative 5. Now I have negative absolute value of negative 5. Don't think of this as two negatives making a positive. Do it exactly the same way we did number 3. Think of the absolute value symbol as parentheses, so you write down your negative. The absolute value of negative 5 is positive 5 because absolute value will always be positive because it represents distance. So negative times 5, or negative 5, again, is your answer. 2 more examples. I have an expression inside absolute value. Again, think of your absolute value as parentheses. I'm going to rewrite my absolute value bars because I have to actually solve what's inside first. 8 minus 2 is 6. So the absolute value of 8 minus 2 is the same thing as saying the absolute value of 6. The absolute value of 6 is just positive 6. And on example 6, I have a negative times the absolute value of 8 minus 2. So I'll put the negative in the absolute value bars again. 8 minus 2 is 6, so we write that inside. So I have to do the negative of the absolute value of 6, so you write negative and then parentheses. The absolute value of 6 is 6, so I have negative 6 as my answer. The only time an absolute value answer will be negative is a problem where the negative is on the outside of the absolute value bars like this one is.